ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kevin Jackwitz. This is the Kaged Review, and this is a review for WWE SmackDown for 12/18/2018. They're sticking with this whole program now where they're reinventing WWE again. Apparently for both Raw and SmackDown. I never really thought there was too much wrong with SmackDown. Now, could it improve? Absolutely. But I like SmackDown. So I hope they're not changing too much, but right off the bat, at the beginning of this show, they start off with a pretty big damn change. And that is Shane McMahon. He's got the entire roster there, and he's talking about how, like I said, the change is going to start affecting SmackDown too. New faces, new matchups, all that. Okay, that's good. But then he hits us with Paige is being relieved of her duties as general manager. He said that she's still going to be a part of the company, but her role is changing and she's no longer SmackDown general manager. I liked Paige. I thought she was good presence on screen. So that is actually a little bit sad for me. So they gave the roster a, goodbye for Paige segment. And then you start the show with Becky Lynch. She comes out, she's doing a promo. She's talking about Ronda Rousey, of course. Charlotte interrupts her, says, "You're going to have to get in the back of the line, or at least behind me." And then Asuka comes out, and she says, "It doesn't matter, because I'm the women's champion." And Vince McMahon then comes out and says, "You know what? I have a challenger for Asuka. Charlotte, you've had your chance. Becky, you've had your chance. You lost. It's a no-rules match that you lost in, so it doesn't matter if Ronda Rousey tipped the ladder over with you guys on it or not. It's a no-rules match." So he essentially said, "Charlotte, Becky, you're going to the back of the line," and he brings out Naomi. And so the first match of the night then becomes Naomi and Asuka. And it was a good match. I liked it. There were a couple of hinky spots there where, things were just a little jerky in the movements. But if that's the biggest complaint you have, then it's not a bad match. That's honestly nitpicking. And so yeah, it was a good match. It was entertaining. They're both highly athletic. I love Naomi's athleticism. Like, the girl can fucking move in that ring. She gets in and she can do all kind of flips and crazy stuff that I don't see, honestly, all the girls in there being able to do. And Asuka, I honestly think, kept pace with her. Like, she was doing some flips on the ropes and stuff herself. So it was entertaining to see. At the end of the day, Asuka Lock gets a submission. Asuka wins. She holds up the belt in front of Becky and Charlotte, and that's kind of where they leave that bit off. Before they cut to commercial, you see The Miz. He's knocking on the McMahon locker room door. Vince McMahon answers. Shane McMahon's talking about, he wants to partner with Shane McMahon. Vince says, "Well, what do you want me to do?" And so Vince McMahon finds Miz a partner, and they're going to have a tag match. Cut to commercial, come back, and there's another backstage bit where Rusev and Lana are talking about Shinsuke Nakamura. And so apparently, Rusev is trying to find this comedy thing, and it doesn't work for me. His sense of humor is a little bit off. Now, he did have a pretty good line about Sonic the Hedgehog that made me chuckle a little bit. I don't see Rusev as a comedy character, though. And if that's what they're trying to do, or if that's what he's trying to do, I think it's going to be a tough sell, if I'm being honest. I like Rusev, but I feel like that's a tough sell. I think that's the wrong direction. Rusev looks like a killer, make him a killer. So after that bit, you have this promo where Samoa Joe is supposedly going to apologize to Jeff Hardy for all the shit he said about Jeff Hardy's past and his addiction problems. And Jeff Hardy openly admits that he's had that, and he's on a new path now, and he's not the same guy. I like the promo from, honestly, both of them. Samoa Joe is always really good at promos, and I honestly think this is Jeff Hardy doing a better promo than I've seen. There's something about his personality as far as promo goes. It's kind of like one note, very monotone. But this was actually pretty good. I like this a lot better, to be very honest. So Samoa Joe kind of gets the tables turned on him because Jeff Hardy's like, "Well, maybe, you're trying to hit everybody's weak points because you have this weakness, which is you've been here for 2 years and held one minor championship." pisses Samoa Joe off. Samoa Joe goes to attack Jeff. Jeff turns it into a twist of fate and then walks out of the ring. Not a bad promo. Like I said, I liked it from Jeff Hardy a lot more than I like a lot of his promos. Once he gets emotion into his promos, once he really tries to sell the feeling, I think it works. It's just getting him past the monotone part, and I think it worked here. So the next match after that is Miz. His partner turns out to be Mandy Rose, and they face R-Truth and Carmella, who of course won the Mixed Match Challenge. This match was, I guess, fine for what it was, and it didn't last very long, and the skinny of this match came down to, there was a point where R-Truth and Carmella wanted to do the dance break. Mandy Rose came in, tried to take care of Carmella, but Carmella kicked her, and then Miz came in with a skull-crushing finale on R-Truth, got the win. So Miz and Mandy Rose win, and I don't know where that goes, if anywhere. It feels like a very thrown-together match. Having said that, that is the initial problem with WWE right now. You need to have all your matches count right now because everybody is paying attention to what you're doing. And if you have filler matches and throwaway segments, it's going to make people pick up every single little thing that you're doing wrong. So far it's not a bad show, but I'm just making that mental note there because people are going to tear anything that they do wrong apart right now. They're promising this big change. They're coming in. They're selling pipe dreams. And if it doesn't come to fruition, people are going to be like, I don't care, very quickly. Very quickly. So that's my thought on that. You got the new Superstars promo that you got on Monday. It was the exact same people coming up from NXT, so no need to rehash that. The Usos come in after that with an in-ring promo, and they're talking about how they still got this division on lock. And then Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson come down, and these guys haven't been seen on TV for 4 months. They acknowledge that, and they're like, we have something to prove here. So honestly, this match was better than I thought it was going to be. Not that I don't like Gallows and Anderson. Luke Gallows, he's big, he's a little bit older, and honestly so is Anderson. He's a little bit older too. And age is a factor. This is a young man's game. That's just a fact of life. But it was actually a really good match. Gallows had a lot of a mean streak in there. Anderson, he really pulled off some cool moves. They had some good spots either way. So I liked the match, and then it turned out to be a double disqualification. You saw the bar coming down the ramp, and that was a distraction because Sanity actually came in from the other direction and jumped both teams. Sanity trying to make a name for themselves. They start walking up the ramp right past the bar, Sheamus and Cesaro, and the bar kind of run into the ring and pick the bones of what's left, and they start beating down on both teams as well. And when they're done, they come back to their belts they left kind of at the rampway, and they're holding up the belts, and they're looking at Sanity. Sanity's looking at them, and that's where they cut out. I like the fact that they are kind of staying true to their word, and you're seeing new faces or faces that they haven't used, faces that maybe people think they should use, like Sanity. That's a big thing. You know, one of the biggest problems I think a lot of fans have had is you're not pushing people. You're using the same 4 or 5 people for your main segments every week. Every week without fail. So it is kind of nice to see them actually using other people. I gotta say, that's how you make stars. You give them the chance, you let them shine, you let them sink or swim on their own talent. And so I think Sanity as a team, that if they get rolling, would be very good. So having said that, I kind of liked the bit. I liked they had a good match there. They're using Gallows and Anderson, who they haven't used. They brought in Sanity, who I think desperately they should use. So yeah, it was very cool for me. And then you get a Shinsuke Nakamura promo backstage where he's basically making fun of Rusev, showing a bunch of clips of Rusev on Total Divas where he's looking ridiculous, showing off his legs and doing crazy shit. And Nakamura's like, I'm not afraid of you, you're a diva, and left it at that. So I actually like that, you know, the barbs they're kind of throwing at each other, Rusev and Shinsuke. Because Rusev, like I said, he did the same thing, calling him Sonic the Hedgehog earlier, which worked. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with that. After the Shinsuke promo, you have Daniel Bryan. He's got an in-ring promo, and he's going off about, people not being green, basically. And it turns into a match with Daniel Bryan with Andrade Cien Almas taking on AJ Styles with Mustafa Ali. And again, this is a face that you haven't really used on the main roster. You had him last week. Well, now we find out he's going to be a permanent member of the SmackDown roster. That's cool. So Mustafa Ali, he's stepping up in the world. He's getting time to shine. Andrade Cien Almas is in the ring. He's getting time to shine with two of the heavyweights in here, like AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan. Like I said, their TLC review, just two guys at the top of their game, honestly. And it was a good match. It was everything you would expect from Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, Andrade, and Mustafa Ali. It really was good. Good spots all the way around. And at the end of the day, Mustafa Ali wound up getting the pin on Daniel Bryan. That's a big moment. And then you have AJ Styles kind of raising Mustafa's hand at the end of that. I think that's important. You're building this guy up. And I don't care why they're doing it. Maybe they're doing something else in the Middle East or whatever. I don't care. It just goes to show you give a guy a chance to shine, and sometimes he can really shine. And I think that's the important thing to note here. And I only say that last comment about I don't care if it's, for something else, because that's exactly what they did with Jinder Mahal. There was no other point to it. He would not have had that push if it were not for them trying to get that lockdown in India. And that's the only reason I bring that up. Because WWE, how many W's are in there? WWE they're really known for that. They're just known for, kind of exploiting certain situations with certain people and trying to, get the most benefit out of it. But I think it's a great thing that Mustafa Ali is on SmackDown. He's incredibly talented, as you've seen in the last couple of weeks. And it just really, really is cool to see somebody else getting a shot at something. They need new faces. That is something they are desperately in need of, both on Raw and SmackDown. So, overall, I really do like the direction they're going with this. Now, there's a lot of things they have to do. And frankly, there was only one kind of wasted segment here. The match and the part with Miz. And I will say, the thing with Miz and Vince McMahon, like the little promo they did, it was really funny at the end because, Miz is all excited and he's, trying to talk to Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon's like, and slams the door in his face. It was pretty funny. The match itself, like I said, it just felt thrown together, and that was like one missed opportunity. But if that's the only thing out of an entire show, you are changing direction. Like you're focusing on what you need to do. Like you're adding new people. In the last two shows, you've had a lot of faces that haven't been used in a while or just new. So that's great. I think you started strong. Actually, I think you started really strong. You got the little shock with Paige, and I was kind of disappointed about that, but it was a moment. But then you get, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Asuka, and then the Asuka-Naomi match, and that probably brought up a little past your first half hour, so 25% of your show. So that was good. The last match, I don't know how long it lasted, probably about 25 minutes, I think. So that's almost another quarter. So you're half of your show right there, you're looking good. Like you really are. You're looking really good. And they did some cool stuff in between. Usos, Gallows, and Anderson, I liked. I liked the fact that they brought in Sanity after that. So they were doing a lot of good stuff. Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, another good spot. It was short, but it was good. So I feel very strongly about this show. I've liked SmackDown regardless. SmackDown has definitely been the superior show. I'm really hoping they keep this trend up though. Like WWE needs to focus on making a quality product every week. No thrown together matches. Let's get some new faces. Let's get some new matches. I agree with what they're saying there. The fact that Nia Jax wasn't used at all made me very happy. It just, it seems like they are trying to at least make an impression. But we'll have to see. I'm not going to base anything off of 2 shows. Keep my fingers crossed though, because I do love wrestling and I would love to be a fan again. So, with that in mind, I'm going to say 8 out of 10. I felt like it was a strong showing for WWE. I really liked what they did most of the way through this. I will say that you've got Royal Rumble coming up, and you don't know much about that yet. So it's time to start building up your next pay-per-view. With that said, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackowitz. Kaged Nation out.